Hola, caballeros. Hopefully this goes all right with a Wi-Fi signal very low. So you guys let me know, man, if you can understand what I'm saying out there. Friday locker rooms in effects live from Cancun, Mexico, you guys. Y'all, hacker Hamin. Bin Hamin, as they say down here, man, doing well. Down where? Down there. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to the man, Hustler Rip Rogers. Absolutely, Hustler 2754. Ripper's birthday was this week. So if you guys haven't gone over on Twitter, give Rip big happy birthday and tell him he's 69 and he's FR. So, or go 69, whatever you want to do. But yeah, so hopefully you guys, the signal will take. And if not, I'll start over and re-upload one later. But hopefully you guys had a good week. It's been nice down here in Mexico with referee sideburns. He's getting his teeth done now, so doing a little work while he's away at the dentista. Good morning. I see chat room filling up here. I know you guys if this is coming through clear or not, and because otherwise I'll have to do it offline. But I wanted to try down here in the lobby, so you might hear some extra crowd noise or whatever in the background, you guys. But Mark Robbins first in the chat. Bobo, what's good, man? Let me know, you guys. The signal's coming through. Buenos dias to all my caballeros out there. All mi gente into sicarios of HMG. So, y'all, man, I've been watching, keeping an eye on everything that's going on the HMG and brand discussion groups, and looks like everybody's kicking ass, man. I just want to say thank you so much to HMG staff that they just always step up, whether it's Big Ray or Rick Vickery and Timmy Baltimore this week, everybody, Plaja. I mean, I can go through everybody just knowing that I can get away for a minute to help my buddy out. And and then things are gonna, keep rolling out, you guys. So thanks for being patient with the schedule being a little wonky this week, but hey, when you're out of the country, you kind of gotta play by different rules. So very interesting week though. Hot news week. Seems I didn't really get to watch all of Raw and only part of AEW, but with the numbers in AEW starting at 1 million, ending at 779,000, not a good look. More guys getting caught gigging on camera, production, not a good look. Girls having rotten segments and hurting each other, not a good look. So pretty interesting to see what some of the fallout from that will be. But one thing that, in this business, it's all carnies, queers, and addicts, like I've said many times before. But I saw some pretty strange stuff, carny addict style maybe. Let me bring it up here. And, this is a guy I've worked a fair amount of indie shows with, and I got, definitely have respect for. But talking to some other people, they said he's kind of got a history of self-sabotaging a little bit. And I was not shocked because it's wrestling. It's wrestling. Yeah, man, from Eddie Kingston last night on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet or not, of him kind of bashing the Bucks and everybody without saying it, very interesting why he would do that. But he said, side note, since we need to see this world champ 3 times within an hour and a half when it's a 2-hour show, fuck Ortiz and the House of Black and fuck the roster. Born a line. I don't know what that means. Die alone, born alone, die alone. I tried. I don't need anyone, including Man Penta. Fuck everyone, especially the pillars. I mean, there's some strange things going on online, whether they're kind of trying to work or shoot. This guy is one of the best promos in the business. There's no doubt about that. However, there's some type of strange laziness there. Like he was Mr. Indie guy, ready to sell his boots and get a job at Burger King, and then some buddy favors came through. He got a spot. I was glad to see him get a spot, family man. I got him this for 2 years. And then all of a sudden, you don't lose weight, you don't get new gear, and you're kind of dying on the hill for dudes who probably wouldn't do the same for you. They might have got you in, but you need to make yourself stand out. And there's going to be frustration in every wrestling company, but to sell to the internet for it as a 20-year vet is a strange way to do things. He put something else out earlier in the week about, I don't give a shit, fire me. I'll work someplace else. I'm like, dude, you had 20 years to get over and work someplace else. Impact will probably bring him back. I wouldn't doubt that, but you think WWE is going to hire a 40-something-year-old who's out of shape just because he cuts a good promo? Maybe. They did with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, so maybe. Now, I don't know if this is a work shoot where these guys are going to the internet to talk crazy shit, or that the locker room really kind of hates each other, which can easily happen in a locker room without a leader that is respected and can kind of drop the hammer on guys. So, that was a strange tweet last night, and I expect a tweet, apologize, dive, delete statement coming in the next 48 hours because, I'm off my meds and I've been bipolar and I apologize for anybody I offended. The wrestling get out of jail free card, right? So interesting, man. But when things like that happen, sure, that could be his own thing. That could be his own issues with what's going on. But the fact that somebody would step out and make the locker room look like shit is a strange behavior, and it could be because he's not on his meds the right way, but a 20-year vet should know how to play the game better than that. And so that's what leads me to believe some things are working. We've seen this in NXT with obviously them ribbon and Hamin media, myself especially, getting worked in the NXT fake tattoo thing, and then they're trying to do the fake fights, and then some people even say that the Seth Rollins thing might be a work with tricky Nick Hausman interviewing him and burying him. There's a follow-up story I'll get to on that, but it seems like they're using the internet either for shoot bang bang mental breakdowns, or are they really doing it to try and build a heat that blurs that line? If it's blurring the line, then I'm all for it. I'm down for. I like it worked. That's what we're in this for. If you can make old curmudgeons who've been around this shit go, what's what. I like to blur that line. I think that's a cool thing. But to me, a lot of this is just prima donna performers and not having all their shit together upstairs and how to deal with this stuff, man. But I did just see a warning on Drudge Report from the U.S. State Department that for spring breakers to not go to Mexico, that it's the most dangerous time ever for possible kidnappings and whatnot from cartels. So not necessarily in Cancun, but they better come heavy. Unless they want a new boss, and then I'm down to take over there as well. But that was an interesting tweet last night that Sideburns and I were talking about, because we worked shows with him, Blaze Smiz with him, whatever it is, man. And Eddie's always been cool, but these jealousy things just have a way of going from silent heat backstage that the sheets don't know about, and then booyah, grandma, everything blows up. So, but big shout out to the William Alessia, keeping that HMG discussion group jumping. Great sports talk in there on Facebook, you guys. Kevin Kimmons, I see you too, and Rumpole on the hill, old chap. Y'all, a lot of you too this morning. I'm glad you guys can hear me coming through loud and clear. And thank you very much for being cool again with this week's schedule being a little wonky. So, but Sideburns is doing good, man. Hopefully everything goes well while he's at the El Dentista now and can get fit for his uppers and all that shit, man. But I had a great time in the ocean yesterday. It usually takes me about 2-3 days to really unwind from HMG because my mind is just constantly going between brands, So finally get back to nature a little bit yesterday. Crystal blue waters, nice sands, girls in bikinis. That's the way to go. Great tacos too. And everybody's been excellent. So to see that story, I don't doubt that there's danger in other places, but got to keep your head on a swivel, I guess, sometimes. But they better send somebody big, 300 pounds, 6'4", and I haven't seen anybody that fits that bill around here. So they better come heavy with it if they want old Hacker. But yeah, man, let's get a couple more stories here. Try and get in there as long as I can. Oh, yeah, where's that Seth Rollins story? Seth Rollins on CM Punk. It pains me to have to say bad things about him. Interesting. He says, well, I don't need to repeat what I said in Chicago about Phil in an interview last week. If you need to, I'm sure you can Google it. Look, the bottom line is that it's the same thing as Logan Paul. Punk and Paul are two different personalities, but they're both as selfish as it comes. If you're not going to help, I don't want you to be part of our industry. I don't want you to be part of our company, and that's all there is to that. Here's the thing. I will say one thing about Punk. I'll end it on a positive note with him. That guy's given my career so much that it pains me to have to say bad things about him because he helped me out. He really did. He's been a good guy for me a lot of my career, but for whatever reason, the past 6-7 years, he's in a different headspace and we're not on the same page. To see what he's kind of done and taken, it's always been about him. I'm not a fan. There's a place for him, man. He's got a lot to give. I just wish his head was in the right spot. Interesting, man. This could definitely be the work, and I don't put it past Seth to play at this high level to insult him, and especially if there's an edict from WWE of like bang bang, or this could just be the truth. Phil can be a supreme dickhead. If you're not in with the in crowd with him, he will treat you like shit. If he thinks that you're not worthy of being in his presence, he'll make you feel terrible. I've seen him do it to complete strangers. He's paranoid and nervous because of the straight edge stuff. I've seen him at 4th Street Live in Louisville, like acting like he's drunk and bumping into people when the boys and girls are just out trying to have a good time and unwind on the weekend. Nobody's doing anything, but he wants to be a part of everybody's stuff, and he'll go out to show face, but acts a different way. And now that's 15 years ago. And we've all matured far more since then. I'm just telling you what I've seen. And I've told the no handshake, Dre Blitz story plenty of times. I don't need to recount that. So and I'm not trying to say I'm perfect by any means, but I usually don't go out of my way to put heat on somebody unless they've done something to really F things up for themselves, and that's a lesson I need to take too. But again, I'm not sure if this is a work or a shoot. You guys, if you're in the chat, I'm not sure what you think either. But to see them going in on guys openly in public in wrestling, you wouldn't do that unless there's going to be a payoff. Because then you just look kind of like you're bitching about dudes and creating own dirt sheet headlines. And Seth's way up here right now. So for him to do something. But then again, Seth could just be comfortable in the locker room because he knows he's way up here and he can bang on anybody he wants. And especially if Triple H doesn't like CM Punk and Seth's his boy, that might be the Trojan horse for it. That's what's going crazy. Rumpole on the old Hill chap here says, who got hurt this week on AEW? I guess I didn't get to see it, but unfortunately, my girl Cherry Bomb, Pepper Parks' wife, not my girl, Bunny, on AEW, I guess was in a match with Jamie Hayter, didn't go well and got hurt, and she was just kind of coming back from injury. So, there's plenty to talk about with women's wrestling and what we're doing and what they think the expectations are. But AEW production crew is just fucking up left and right too, catching Takashita with the gig. I don't know who allowed, it was probably Daniel Bryan because we're carnies and we're our own worst enemy. But I watched the Roosh Daniel Bryan match. Dude, that Daniel Bryan got hit in the head about 25 times, hard. Roosh was working Daniel Bryan stiffer than I'd seen almost anybody else get worked, chopped, color, all that shit on the outside, like very stiff. And then Bryan would hit him back maybe 70% of what Roosh was hitting him with. Now, I get that they're in this, whatever to get to MJF thing, bro, but this guy's got it. He just looked concussed to me by the end of that match. And somebody's got to save him from himself. And somebody's got to tell these agents that you got to really agent this guy. I don't care if he was WWE champ. You got to say nobody's working Daniel Bryan's head with knees, headbutts, forearms. They're standing in the pocket, putting their arms at their side, punching each other in the face, bro. Like, we can't have that. And I got to believe some of that's on Daniel Bryan just going, no, let's do it, lay it in, da-da-da-da. But I think a chupacabra just ran by. That stuff is cringy to me, man. Every time I saw Roosh just hit him, I could almost see the x-ray of Daniel Bryan's brain smacking against the inside of his skull. You know what I mean? Like, brain bleeds. This guy's got a little kid. You know, he's got a little kid to look after. What was Birdie? That's the daughter's name. Like, why would you put it on the line for that, for some neckbeard mark-ass fans who weren't even really popping by the end of the match? More disgusting. And then, again, with Takeshita and MJF, I saw the MJF where they were going for the Spanish fly, and he flips out, lands on his feet. Super impressive athleticism. Super impressive. And the threat of violence is just as important as the violence itself, and he countered that and stood out. But then at the end, they're showing the gig, giving the gig over while Takeshita's got color, all that shit. So there's just a lot of fundamental production basics that are not good, and fundamental in the ring with these girls doing way too much. I didn't see what happened to Bunny. I just heard she got hurt, but I heard that and the Saraya and Toni Storm match was the absolute shits, that segment. So, you know, like, let's tighten it up or make it simpler. That's the thing. It's not about, oh, your work sucks, we need to tighten up. It's you're doing way too much, and you're not comfortable doing it 10 out of 10 times safely, then you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be doing it, you know. Speaking of women's wrestling, let's jump over, because this is an interesting take from former WWE champ. Let's see here. I find it first. Idiot. Well, hopefully you guys are having a good week, man. Hey, I just saw a piece of news that a piece of the sun broke off. A piece of the sun broke off. Good stuff. And they wonder why there's earthquakes killing possibly 20,000, but no Planet X here, nothing to see. No woodworm, none of that, you guys. Just keep on. Everything's normal. Yeah, man. Lower Oars in the house. Really can't say enough about HMGG unit Capos, man. Everybody from the co-hosts to the producers, the uploaders, the community members, and everybody sharing, man, while I'm here trying to, take care of my best friend while he's got some stuff to do and unwind for a minute. I get a little beach time, but my main thing is to kind of play nursemaid sideburns, make sure he's all good. So, but appreciate that, man. And Timmy B has been just an awesome veteran voice addition. So fortunate to have him on with us right now. Love hearing everything he's got to say, especially, he's not trying to flex that he's boys with Cody, but they've been boys for 15, 16 years. He was Dusty's personal assistant. No other place in the wrestling world are you going to get that kind of inside perspective, except for HMG. And not that Timmy isn't just one of my great friends, but to have somebody of that caliber be able to deliver, professional talk about announcing the storylines, how to do interviews, and then give, I'll say guarded, because we can't go all in, especially if he's talking to Cody every week and be like, let me stooge your business on HMG. But he gives a pretty honest perspective, and I think RBV and Timmy did a great job on the Monday locker room from what I saw, and Kaz putting out those great clips as well. Thank you, man. Yeah, I just saw the piece break off the sun. Keep an eye out, guys. If you see a big piece of the sun headed towards you, step aside, okay? But yo, where is that other one with the women's story? Anyway, I saw, there it is. WWE Hall of Famer explains why women's wrestling doesn't appeal to the majority. Alundra Blaze, Medusa to some, pioneer in women's wrestling, gave an interview. She said, okay, let me ask you a question. Why doesn't the women's NBA sell out ever? The truth is the truth. It's an all-women's league. Women don't appeal to the majority. It is what it is. And it is a problem. However, why Alex does MMA women sell out? Because it's brass, it's hard-hitting, it's believable, and it's gutsy, and it's badass. Who's sitting in the audience more than anything? Men. Who's sitting in the audience for wrestling mainly? Men. Look at how every single woman comes out the ring. Their hair's done, their makeup is thick, and they look beautiful. Every piece of clothing's perfect, right? But in MMA, it's authentic. It's real. I have no makeup on except mascara and eyelashes right now. And that's what people want. People want real. Now we have been so smoked and full of BS in the past few years that people are sick of it, right? People want something that's real. I think she's definitely got a point there. She, being multi-time women's world champion and a legend in this business. I can't dispel her opinion by any means, but it's a little bit light of like, oh, well, the women in MMA got over. Yeah, because they put the machine behind Ronda Rousey or Nunez, and they can back it up in the ring and they go. You don't see them doing shitty work. When they throw a kick, it's a shoot, right? Whereas these girls, well, I guess the girls in NXT, that's a shoot too, and she booted her in the fucking face, but it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to look like a shoot and not hurt somebody. Instead, old girl's got track marks down the side of her head and probably a level 2 concussion. So whatever they're teaching down there, and these are supposed to be the girls that are going to the main roster. If I was on the main roster and I saw that and I'm Becky Lynch, I go, I'm not working that girl. That bitch isn't going to kick me in the face ever. Let her do that to Dakota Kai. I ain't working her. And that's how it'll go backstage, So it's interesting, but I got to say my opinion, and regardless, because another one of my great friends who I have huge respect for, I think is one of the best wrestlers on the planet, and not women's wrestlers, best wrestlers, technicians, and that's Serena Deeb. Now you compare Deeb's work in ring to these Hot Wheels back up, and I'm going to come and hit you with some phony shit and miss by a mile, or else I'm going to hit you as hard as I can and put you on the shelf. The comparison to MMA isn't there. Here's what women's wrestling is, in my opinion, and I guess it's probably Rip Rogers' opinion because it's how it was taught to me. Can women's wrestling shine the brightest? Absolutely, but not on a full show. In a TV show that has a 90% male 18 to 49 demographic and a 10% female demographic, sure, you got the little girls there that you want, Sasha or Naomi and all those girls inspire. Charlotte, sure, we have that percentage of the audience. Dads bring, moms bringing their daughters, right? But the work doesn't stand up to the same level. The women trying to do these indie young bucks matches with spot, pass by, duck one, and all this to get to a falsie where they're like going, see, we can do it like the men, but they can't. You see them a step behind. You see them get lost in them. You see that in the men's matches too, where they try and memorize too much. You see them get lost and they get scared, and then they start beating the shit out of each other for real, and somebody gets hurt, and everything looks bad, and the timing's off. So don't do as much. Tighten it up. Go back and do the spots that are the girl spots. The cartwheel, backflip, back elbow. Tajiri did it, but really that's a woman's wrestling spot, So you have your spot on the card. You're one of the 31 Baskin-Robbins flavors, and be highlighted in that spot. They think that, women can draw and do the whole show. They can't. It's not the fact that they suck and they're bad performers by any means. So you could have all the best women who could have flawless matches. But now all you're eating is vanilla ice cream over and over and over again. So the women sprinkled in a show can be the most refreshing part and some of the biggest pops, whether it's sex appeal, the heat, the mystique, and just being something different on the show, as opposed to going, see, I can do exactly what all the guy wrestlers can do. Well, nobody wants to see you do that. They want to see something different. That's what we're featuring in the line. We only got 1 or 2 spots on the show. They look at it as a negative. I look at that as a highlight spot because we got 7 other men's matches. They're the ones who got to compete with each other. You're already on your own pedestal. But if you're going to complain about, oh, it doesn't draw, and then there's this new argument, well, Women's World of Wrestling is all women showing us great. Good. I'm glad. But that's a niche show because if it was over, they'd be on TV too. They'd be competing right next to them. And here's the other thing. It's not diehard wrestling fans, 90% males, 10% women tuning in at those numbers. It's a bunch of tape trader masturbators who wanted apartment wrestling and all the private tapes and all that stuff. And now it's kind of crossed back over like how Shimmer was into it. And I'm glad those girls are putting on a show and working hard and getting ring time in and getting reps with each other. That's all good stuff. I'm not trying to downplay women's wrestling because I trained with Serena. I've seen Serena wrestle the best men at OVW and expose them of not being as technically sound. So if you're not going to step up to that level of a technician, my dude, who's the greatest luchador of all time, gentlemen? Rey Mysterio? Yeah. Rey? Okay. They agree. Rey Mysterio the best. Sorry, Conan. Sorry, El Santo, but those guys are Rey fans. And I'm going to switch right now and put him over because I see just hit the chat, and some might not know that his shoot name or work name, but I got to give huge respect right now, and I'm just telling you how proud I am. I told him in chat, but I want something I want to do on camera, so I'm glad that the signal's here and that he's in the chat. I got to give huge respect to my man Shiloh, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, the Outrunners, man. When guys that I came up with in anything, comedy or girls, comedy from years ago who've been grinding this shit out, just waiting for that chance to get their foot in the door so they can really blast it open. When they succeed, it really feels like all of us succeed a little bit because we're all boys and we all got to work together, but there's only so many spots, And a lot of times you'll see guys that their work is lackluster or they're kind of shitty people get those spots and continue to get promoted and not do the job as good as 50 other guys I know who are more trained to do it, but they got in because they're somebody's kid or buddy favors or whatever. Who cares? They got their job. To see the Outrunners become a tag team, solidify their gimmick with kind of a retro 80s, throwback that has tons of character involved, that doesn't need to do extreme bullshit and can get over in their entrance and on a promo, and to get to AEW and have the opportunity and show that, yeah, we'll do business and lay down whatever you want us to do because we're going to get over no matter what. We're different than everybody else. And we're going to make the most of our opportunity whenever we get to. And to show that character that a lot of AEW main roster members are not polished on. They'll get there maybe in 5-10 years. But these OVW guys are head and shoulders above. They're better than the Bucks. They're better than FTR, a character. They're better than almost everybody on the roster. And I think Tony Khan saw that, brought them back, and now they have entrance. They get a win, even if it's, maybe not on the main TV show. They get to do the scissor me thing with the Acclaim. When I see that stuff, dude, my heart just swells, and I just want to let Shiloh and Turbo Floyd know how proud HMG is of them, man. They're here checking shit out all the time. And I think it's a bigger lesson of you got a big dream, right? Whatever it is. I don't care if it's wrestling or not. It might take 16, 17 goddamn years of sacrifice, reinvention, pushing through, getting no's in your face, left and right. But you cannot, no doesn't mean no. It means not right now. Okay? And you don't have to accept that answer. No, Ben Hamin, you're blackballed. You'll never get a writer job with WWE. Okay. I'm going to reach out to USA Network and we'll see who fucking wins this battle because I trust in my training, my mentors, my colleagues, and my own mind and creativity and passion that I'm going to make it happen. And I'm not going through the main wall. I'll get in the goddamn catapult and you can launch me over, but I'm getting in the castle one way or another. So to see Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum get to shine so bright in the last couple months, and they've been putting in all the hours on the road. Any indie they can get to get established and get over in their entrance and promo, the match is almost secondary, you know? So, like I told Shiloh, man, so proud of them, and all the OVW brothers are, and everything they're doing. And I think they're going to be one of the hottest tag teams in 2023 and 2024. I see him working FTR. I think FTR and the Young Bucks need the Outrunners. I think both of their acts have been shelved for whatever politics or whatever, and I hope that the Outrunners don't have to get caught up in any of that. And Shiloh and these guys are OVW trained, so their politic mind is light years above everybody else over there, bro. And they're not like they're going to have to politic, but they'll see the bullshit coming a mile away, because that's what we train for at OVW. So to see those guys just feeling it positive, you know, agents love them, the boss loves them, and I can't wait to see what's next for them. And Shiloh, you know, has been doing this for a long time and reinvented himself and got himself over with indie cred with a whole storyline with rapper Mike Eagle. So he knows how to get outside of the box of wrestling and bring some viral eyes onto him, you know. But Shiloh, I know you're out there. You don't get it over, brother. I love you, and I just think it's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome. So big shout out to the Outrunners. You guys give them Truth Magnum, Turbo Floyd a follow on Twitter, and watch them blow up this year. And then you can say, hey, I was with these guys back when. Oh. But to misogynistic sounding, it's not like the women suck and I can't stand them or watch them wrestle. It's just how they're featured on the show. That's the main thing, bro. That's the main thing is they want to act like they need to be the main event and be the equal, and they don't see that they're the feature, and that's not a bad thing. And in that, there's a lot to be the special moment on the show. What are you gonna do? Let's see. It looks like with the AEW Fight Forever video game, it's kind of been, you know, a big hassle, it seems, at this point, that they finally got their T for teen rating with lackluster exploding barbed wire matches or whatever the fuck it is. Somebody hit somebody with a chair, and that was the big thing, or girls getting blood on them or what have you. But they're now T for teen, which is what they wanted to. So Tony probably had to fucking shell out a couple for that. But the problem is, and this is where you have wrestlers in your front office, and I'll put the Bucks over as hustlers, man. I mean, those guys with the amount of money they made off of Bullet Club shirts didn't even need to fucking go to AEW. But the fact that you're a wrestling hustler versus, well, the hustler Rip Rogers, is that when you're putting things to market like this, you have to have serious corporate media savvy and placement and marketing. And that comes with working in the biggest marketing agencies in Chicago, LA, New York City, right? And I'll go back and check to see if I'm right or wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Kenny Omega and the Bucks and whoever else over there have never worked for a DDB, a Leo Burnett. These are major agencies that place all of your Super Bowl commercials and everything. So to not get this deal done by last September in time for Christmas, that to me tells the entire tale of, yeah, we love video games. Yeah, good for you. Do you know how to market one and bring one to market? No, you don't. And now they missed the big window for sales, and we're here in February. And are you going to release the game now for soft sales and let it go all the way to September when all the other video games are going to be marketed and released for the Christmas run? Or are you going to put it on the shelf and do the smart thing and have your fans begging for it and be like, I would even tell them, like, nah, guys, we got to wait. We want top sales. We want all this, and we're going to refine some things even and make sure it's the hottest game for the holiday season next year. I can almost bet 10-1 they'll release it next month. It'll do soft sales. They'll lose $40 million on it. I think it was up to like 75. I don't even know. I don't want to quote stupid statistics of what is hearsay of what they put into the game time-wise, investment-wise, like redoing it, revamping it. But as a marketing professional, to know that that's when your window is, September to December, to sell 5 times the units probably that you would if you released it right now just to get it out there. July's the release date. Scott Woodford saying, huge mistake. Like, why are you going to release a video game in the middle of summer when people are outside doing summer activities? It just is. It's the most asinine thing, to be honest with you, man. And it's things like that where these guys want to take their passions to the next level, but they just don't have the college degree and professional experience that other people do. And they should really give that power up to somebody who knows that better than they do. And they're missing out. So it's things like that where that give me a sharp pain in my neck where I'm like, God damn it. How did nobody do? But, you know, and the word shit is in the game. So that's, I wish the big motherfucker and the mic. I wonder if the mics don't work in the game. I wonder if guys get caught gigging and handing gigs off. I wonder if people get power bombed off the fucking ramp and miss the table, or there's, somebody runs out with sparklers in the exploding match. Like, what are they going to really do? I haven't. Shout out to Laura Orr. I haven't seen a local promotion in Jersey. I only work Titan out there. And Grimm, the only Grimm I know is a guy in Chicago who kind of paints his face Jeff Hardy-esque and does a character. I worked him a couple times. Great guy out there. And dude, that guy was a money machine at indie shows. He got a bunch of masks just made up, like 300 of them. Bro, he walked out of there with $1,000 that night just on a one show of little kids wanting his masks, man. Friggin' good worker out of Chicago, Grimm, but I haven't checked out Grimm in Jersey or that Fed yet. My man Plage is in the house, y'all. Guys doing great posts over there. Stevie Ray TV. You guys make sure you go over there on YouTube. We need to get those watch hours up. Even if you want to put on some Stevie Ray TV videos at night before you go to bed and let them run, we're trying to get that channel monetized. So anything HMG soldiers can do to help that. I think we got the 1,000 subs. We got to get to 4,000 watch hours. I think we're around 1,000 possibly. So I just want to do over there and great shows. Obviously, go to the live section a lot on there. We got to do some cleanup when I get back on that. But Sonny Ono and Stevie Ray, just hilarious pairing together, and Sonny's and Stevie's other friends. Sorry, gimmicks. Just having a good time. Let's see here. But yeah, I've only worked Titan in Jersey. I know there's a couple other feds there. You never know. Me and Blaze Aram could be out there, but Blaze and I got to defend our tag titles on the 18th. So it's St. Johnsville, New York, with a more. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. She gives no fucks whatsoever. None. Wants to be on the Friday locker room. Just going to do a run-in. Says, fuck it. A big increase of AEW's expected media rights. Let's see here. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get. Maybe that was the cartel's attempt to take me out there. But she's about to get super kicked in 2 seconds. Big increase is expected for AEW's media rights. I guess that's what Khan's putting out there, and he put out the numbers. We've done 174 episodes of Dynamite, 80 episodes of Rampage, 17 pay-per-view events. March 5th will be Revolution. So they're saying that the media rights are going to increase because they've got this vast library. Well, if you got a library that's 70% laughable, of like botchamania level, and Don Stevens out there fucking directing traffic on fucking cells. Just because you got fucking 2,000 tons of dog shit doesn't mean it's fucking worth anything. Like in any company that's going to buy that just for, hey, it's on streaming, let's put it on there. It's not going to do anything good for your company. You got to have a quality product. You can't just serve them shit on toast and be like, now pay me more, and act like it's fucking lobster, But it seems like what the program is here. I think selling their media rights is, I don't know. I'd have to look at the numbers, but the fact that you could do exactly what WWE did and develop an app, which hopefully you can develop it quicker than you did your video game, might be a better resource instead of going, let me shop my library around. Now, that being said, I see that they got New Zealand, Australia, which I was going to get a hold of our cohort, Pierce Austin, because Pierce Austin doing great work down there. Down where? Down there in Australia. But he could be the guy. He's put in the time the last 2 or 3 years to help get that AEW Australia promotion going and earn a paycheck off it. Maybe not live shows or anything, but just being the voice and getting AEW talent, noticed on podcasts for Australian fans. So very interesting. None of you know John Moxley comments on using the song Wild Thing in AEW. He says that was not my idea. None of that was my idea. A guy named Atsuhito, who's a legendary deathmatch Japanese wrestler. A lot of people compare me to him. He stole it from Major League in the 90s and made it his, and he was known for it. Somehow it became my music. But I didn't know until I was coming out. Tony Khan decided it would be cool, but I had imposter syndrome. And first I was like, oh, it's not mine. It's Charlie Sheen's music and Onita's music. But it felt, fans like it. I like it, he says. I don't like it. I think it's nothing more than the Bucks and Omega being marks for 90s culture that they didn't really live through. They kind of came 5-6 years after it, and they play it as a nostalgia thing, but they weren't really Gen Xers. Like I'm 45, and I'm the second to last year of Gen X. I don't think any of those guys are even 40 yet. So they're just trying to play catch and go, isn't this cool when we throw it back and it's a reference, but they never really lived through it the first time. And then mix in some mark out for fucking New Japan Onita shit. And here we are with the Wild Thing walkout. I think it's stupid. I think it's played out, and I don't think it really works, to be honest with you. And I didn't really care for it from the beginning. A little dumb nostalgia pop, like, what are you going to do next? Come out to dress like white men can't jump? Like that's the era they wish they grew up in, but they were only in elementary school when that was going down. And they've been chasing it ever since. So nothing they really have is that original, to be honest with you. It's all a fucking tongue-in-cheek reference to a time that they didn't really live through, It's like them wearing some NWA shirts, and they were 3 years old when NWA came. Good stuff, everybody. What else we got here on the sheets? How much money? Yeah, God, pal, now we're talking. Will Vince McMahon make with the possible WWE sale? WWE is reportedly looking to be sold for around $8 billion. And if that happens, Vince will reportedly make around $2.5 billion. Stephanie, $170 million. Linda, God damn it, Linda gets $50 million. $50 million for Linda. Dunn, $24 million. Khan, $13 million. Frank Riddick, I don't know who the fuck that is, $10 million. And Triple H gets $8.3 million. How does Frank Riddick get more than Triple H? But big numbers. I think it's going to go for more than $8 billion. I think if the battle between Hulu or the Cock or whoever for the streaming service. I can see that being 6 to 8 billion, but the Saudis can come in and go, oh yeah, here's 12, you know, and it may come down to who gets to retain their position and taking a lesser price, or it's all about the money. And the big money goes, talks and bullshit walks at the end of the day. But $2.5 billion cash out for Vince. Can you imagine, man? Crazy. They do need to get their rate grade 10 like Ricky. I agree. They need to go back to school and go to vocational school, whatever it is. Let's see here. Former WWE writer, oh my, suggests that Rhea Ripley should get rid of all that goth stuff. During his podcast on Sports Skeeta, former WWE writer Vince Russo, you might have heard of him, gives his thoughts on Rhea Ripley heading into WrestleMania 39. He says, I believe Rhea can beat Charlotte Flair. Rhea is a beast. She's a big woman. I believe that if she beats Charlotte, I believe it. But my problem really is, bro, that's fine. They transcribe, bro. So now you would have Rhea Ripley as a heel champ. And then because she's bigger and more impressive than the other girls, you know, you've got the Candice LeRae's and we've got the Alexa Blisses and we've got all these girls that are like, Rhea Ripley would kill them. First of all, let me stop there. I do not believe that Russo got Candice LeRae and Alexa Bliss's name both right in the same sentence. So they should rewrite that with Candy LaRue or whatever he calls her. So now you're getting into that Roman Reigns area. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Come here. We're on live. Referee sideburns back in action. Everything went all right? Yeah, swelling's down a lot, bro. Feel okay?
Yeah. No,
all right, I'm going to do about another 20 of this and then do whatever. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, live from the waterfront playoffs. El Imperial Las Perlas. I went to a beautiful beach yesterday, De Marlin, and it was awesome. Let's see here. But, you know, the goth thing, it separates her. And there was a little discussion that got not heated by any means. I guess maybe I was triggered with somebody who had taken a picture with Rhea Ripley on the beach in her bikini. And she's got all these goth tattoos and the new popular underneath the titties chandelier, I call it. I don't even know what the fuck it is. But, you know, they anybody can get any tats they want. I got 2 terrible ones and one that I actually like. And I know for some it's a lifestyle, man. But just riding the bus here the other day in Cancun, I saw probably 4 or 5 girls, and it's just insta-ho. Maybe this is me being an old man screaming at the sky. But this insta-ho lifestyle where they're getting these borderline satanic goth tattoos at age 19 to 25, all over, full sleeves, full whatever, you know, and they think that it's sexy for now, but you wait till you crank out a couple of kids, you know, and your Baphomet starts to look like a fucking giraffe, you know, like that. It's just, I just don't see it as a wise choice. And when I see a lot of these young girls doing it, it's for nothing more than Insta-whore likes. I was at that beach yesterday, Playa de Marlin. There was 6 Insta-hoes there with a monopod stuck in the sand, bent over, showing their camel toe. Now, I'm all down for the old camel toe show, but that's what you want to be at the pinnacle in your life? Like, look at my pussy blister, bro. Like, there's got to be more to life than that in the setup of what we're doing, you know? And when these women are 65, they're going to have a lot of regrets because they're not going to be in the shape they are now, you know? And it's this weird standard. And there was a lot of girls, like, I'm talking, pretty young things with like these weird satanic, symbolic buff. And this is just on the goddamn bus here. Now, maybe I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. But if I had $1 million, I'd quit this fucking business and say, fuck them all. But this trend is as bad as, as bad as tribal tattoos were. It's the exact same thing as tribal tattoos in 1998, bro. It's the same shit. Now, I'm not saying don't get tattooed. We've got a lot of great tattoo artists who are HMG soldiers. Shout out to Greg Mosier, man, who tattoos a lot of WWE guys. It's just this pop culture, fuck your body up with some weird goth thing, and that's your identity. I guess it's just all young people are always searching for their cult or their identity or their clique, and they think that if they do this to themselves, well, that's just going to be who I am. I'm edgy and dangerous, don't you know? So yeah, Larry H. Exactly. Larry H. got a terrible tramp stamp across his lower back, and now he regrets it too. So it was just a big fucking $5 foot long. It said right on the back there. So that's a tough tramp stamp to live with. So I'm sorry, Laura. But hey, as Aleister Crowley, the ultimate goth, said, "Do as thou wilt." So it's not for me to judge like that. I just think a lot of these kids, and not Rhea Ripley just in general, but a lot of these kids who are doing this as the new pop culture thing are going to have so many regrets. Because here's the thing, a lot of those are all in black, and that ain't easy to get a cover up on later, you know? You wait till things start to sag, brother. They're not going to look good. They're not going to. Grandma, what is that big goat man with huge breasts on your leg mean? Don't worry, honey. That's old Baphomet. He's just one of my old boyfriends. Oh, okay. This I didn't see, and I heard the MJF promo was really good. But I guess there was an MJF promo this week where he talked about a serious car accident that he was in, and did a Katie Vick line, and I don't know if he swapped spots with her in the seat. That's what he alluded to. That's kind of what it reads like on the story. But I guess Nassau Police Department in Long Island received like 300 phone calls from AEW fans and trolls wanting to open the case on him to say that. I think that is fucking phenomenal, bro. That's the kind of viral work we need to be doing. And not to say I want people to take away from the hours police should be spending on real things, but when you can mobilize a fan base to do this type of stuff, it really shows that you can captivate an audience. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, Rumpel, poor timing after Jay Briscoe. He's a heel though, bro. Like, it's interesting that you say that, because I thought that too. Anytime you're talking about car stuff and there's a tragic death, but at the end of the day, that's fresh in our minds, and it's a very big and open wound for some people. And ask yourself this: would Jay Briscoe, as a worker, want a heel to blur those lines and sprinkle a little salt in the wound, no matter who it hurts? To be honest with you, I personally would say I would. If I get captured by the cartel and fucking executed, I hope you guys take that to the nth level. When I go, there's no too soon jokes. I want them as tasteless and as fucking hardcore as they can be. And that's just the sick wrestler comedy mentality that we have. So way too soon for a monster heel like MJF, and he's not referencing it. It's just in the same, category. Yeah, if that, then by all means, I say drop it like it's hot on there, dude. Let the heels get heat. And if somebody says it's tasteless because of, well, at least we're kind of honoring Jay Briscoe's memory by saying that as well, So it's very interesting to say what is and isn't in good taste. We're talking about pro wrestling, the lowest common denominator of entertainment. Gully Blanchard, I disagree, but you have a point. Heels can't be heels anymore because of too soon. I think if you even feel too soon in your mind, stick the landing, drop the bomb on them, because heels need heat, and too soon is perfect heat. And Mike Martin, I know you've chimed in plenty of times, and I don't disagree with your opinion. People are weak, now cancel, a different era. Those people only have the power that you give them. If they try and come at you because you're putting spotlight on yourself and it's negative attention and they come at you, that's what I'm doing it for. And I'll be ready to hit another home run right into their goddamn faces, because I want them to come and give me more negative attention. And then I'm ready to hit them with a 1-2 punch too. And then that's just going to make that cancellation fire grow even more. Now, will the boss have your back, or will he put you out on TV to tell everybody to fuck off? Yeah, Larry H., I'm with you. Yeah, if Mark was cool with it, Boy Meets World podcast, possibly. Boy Meets World, the worst podcast of all time. Or a good podcast, the worst show of all time. Well, no. Seinfeld, Friends, Boy Meets World, probably top 3 in that order. Is there a cartel kidnapping one in the background? What are they doing? No, they're just checking in. Possible reason for the Good Brothers being off TV right now. People wonder where they were. I guess it's because AJ Styles is hurt, but to me, that's an opportunity for something creative. You know what I mean? If those guys are going to be off TV because their clique is not going to be featured, we'll let them tell that story. Let them do something to get heat or get over or do a run-in or get on everybody. I'm not sure if you guys knew this or not, but in Korean, Michin means crazy. Okay, so just a little life lesson for today. Is there a cartel happening? Sorry. God, I can't even hear. What are we doing? Yeah, Spectrum in Cancun. El Spectrum is what they call it down here. That may actually be my my lucha gimmick, El Spectrum. But Gallows and Anderson both got jobs till 2027. But that's here nor there because there are no guarantees in WWE. But I guess they signed a 5-year deal, so good for them. But we'll see. Being on the road or versus being home. I know Anderson probably being home with his boys is good for him, and probably not being on the road with some indiscretions that his wife didn't care for in the past. Probably not the best idea there either. So hopefully they're healing up and collecting a check. But there's plenty of places to fit Big Luke and Machine Gun in there, man. Plenty. Let's see what else here. This one kind of pissed me off a little bit. Undertaker reveals what he said to Bray Wyatt at the 30th anniversary thing. The whisper in the ear. He goes, I just let him know that my phone's always on, and if he needs to talk to me about things or run things by me, that's cool. I'd be more than glad to share my experiences with him and hopefully shine some light on questions that he has moving forward. It was a cool moment, and it did exactly what I thought it'd do. No, it didn't, because you just stooged it off to some dirt sheet writer. That moment should have been forever secret, building to a point where Bray Wyatt needs to do invocation of something, and the Undertaker shows up to have his back. Not Undertaker going, you got it, kid, and if you need me, call me. Like, they just took away all the goddamn magic of what that secret moment was between them. This is, I mean, how can you talk bad about the legend of this business? But it's asshole things like this that really piss me off. Like that one thing of what could it be? What could it be, dude? Yeah, that's the other thing too. I saw Michelle McCool might be up. This was just a graphic. I don't know if it's a real one. Michelle McCool for Hall of Fame. Why not? Why not? I want the chat room right now to name their 3 top Michelle McCool fucking moments and feuds that just rocked this industry to a Hall of Fame level. Fucking Michelle McCool. Oh, dude. That Taker thing with Bray, to know a guy's at that level and that they did that and then to stooge it off on the sheets 2 weeks later, bro. One of the worst things I've seen in a while right there. That is bad business. I got one left here. I guess I did them a little out of order. I probably should have closed with Vince McMahon. Well, she had that one match with, yeah. Well, yeah, the nipple slip. Yeah, maybe they'll show that at the Hall of Fame. That'll be great. That'll be great. So, not that the Hall of Fame meant anything to begin with, but you got guys like, and I'm impartial, Rip Rogers, Al Snow, Danny Davis, who've made John Cena, Randy Orton, Mark Henry. You run down the list: Shelton Benjamin, Brock, and Michelle McCool's up for it. Now that may be a graphic, and I got ribbed, but if it's the real deal, then everybody else that's been inducted beforehand, it means absolute zero. It means absolute zero. Oh shit. Former WWE star says there's an idea for him to be Kane's brother Abel. During an interview with Chris Van Vliet, that handsome son of a bitch, former WWE star Matt Morgan talks about how there was an idea for him to play Kane's brother Abel while he was still wrestling for OVW Developmental System in 2004. Johnny Ace and Steph wanted me to wear a mask and work in my body language, right? And so I remember Jim Cornette just being like, what? What are you doing? He's like our top babyface champion. Why have you got to wear this? This is stupid. And I'll always be grateful to Jimmy for that. I love Jimmy. And anyway, so they put me in the stupid mask, and Jimmy found a way for me to make it work because he's freaking brilliant. Okay. I get the character of Kane and Abel. Oh, yeah, super smart. We've got Kane and the Undertaker. We need Abel. Remember the Bible. Like, dude. So just classic McMahon bullshit. And Matt Morgan is, an alpha human being. You look at him, he's a fucking monster. He can actually work. A lot of guys that size, not that competent in the ring, just not there. But I got to OVW 2006, and one of the top guys there was Jacob Duncan, Man of the Woods, who's also 6'8", jacked as hell. He had an awesome long-term program with Beth Phoenix, really, really good stuff, and was under contract, and they never brought him up. He would have been the perfect guy to be Abel. He wore a mask too. You could even use the Jacob Duncan mask, Man from the Woods, as Abel, but instead they're going to use Matt Morgan, who's a better looking babyface, and somewhat established, and working that top guy gimmick as your champ. Meanwhile, you got Jacob Duncan working the freak show gimmick, and we're not going to use him. This is just the ridiculous, and there could be 150 different reasons between the changes in who's working with OVW and WWE, as like I think it went Dreamer, Hamin, Supernova. Who took over for Nova afterwards? I can't remember who took over the Office, right? And all that shit. So it could be heat with anybody, or somebody writes a bad report on you, and it's over with, Yeah. Yeah, if you want to get into the Hall of Fame, I guess the way to go is marry a worker who actually had a career, and you don't have to do shit. So, you'll be in there. You'll just get in. But y'all, man, just when I see that, with thinking Jacob Duncan and what they could have done with Matt Morgan, and just miss upon miss. And those guys, they don't make guys like that, dude. 6'8", 300 pounds, 15% body fat, And, we'll close on one more. Speaking of 15% body fat, it comes to the fact that a lot of people in HMG chat sharing these Jordan Grace Instagram updates, and I think there's, an interesting conversation there that can easily go misogynistic, but it comes down to mental health and body dysmorphia and what women kind of go through, and to act like, I'm not saying she's not putting in the work. I think she's lifting her ass off, cardioing her ass off, but she's also injecting her ass off. And all these women within the sport doing the you look so amazing and keep up the good work and all that. Like, it's like, hey, I just stopped eating some Pringles and now I'm eating an extra lettuce every day and I put on 70 pounds of muscle mass. Like, this is this is as bad as bulimia and anorexia and morbid obesity. It's extreme swings of body dysmorphia combined with being reinforced and dopamine hits through social media and engaging your life on likes and having to post every 3 hours of yourself half nude. There's something seriously borderline mentally ill with that. And to be that obsessive about anything, not weightlifting or whatever it is, you really need to get a grasp back on reality. And the rest of the women in this business seeing that and seeing that people are talking about her are also, I've already seen, I mean, Bianca Belair was doing the same thing, right? All that shit. Can I post a pic of her? Just go to her Instagram. I mean, you'll see it. It's constantly updated, and she's super good. There's no way in the last 6 months to go from where she was to where she is now without massive levels of steroid abuse, and you see it in her forehead, you see it in her hairline, and the femininity's gone, and that's fine if that's what you want to be and do, but I don't think it's that at all, bro. And now it's setting a standard for other women to be like, well, I got to get on crazy amounts of Tren and D-ball and Deca too. So, I hope it doesn't end badly by any means, but she's damaging her liver for what? For what purpose? To go do a bodybuilding show, cool. But everybody being like the pats on the back of, you're doing so awesome, and you just, you switch to diet soda, like that's the secret. It's not. The secret's advice, B12, Florida water, and the obsessive compulsive nature of constantly posting for reaffirmation is not a good thing. Not a good thing. This thing's going off. Big heat going down over here. But Hacker Hamin, y'all infidels, we're here, Cancun, doing it. We'll be back Tuesday. So I don't think I'll be back for the Monday locker. I don't think I'll be back for the Monday locker room, but because we don't get back until midnight, but I'll be there for the Raw review on Tuesday, you guys. So thanks for being so cool this week. And again, thanks to all the HMG soldiers for towing the line. And y'all, man, I'm going to go smack the shit out of this kid and go in the water. So have a good day, y'all.